So here we are again, day 2, supporting each other. Let's start with the healer's prayer. I invite you to say this along with me silently in your heart. I am here to be truly helpful. I am here to represent him who sent me. I do not need to worry about what to say or what to do, because he who sent me will direct me. I am content to be wherever he wishes, knowing he goes there with me. I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. Wow. That last line gets me. As a healer.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, because I spent 8 years with a Tao Grandmaster, and he has a totally different way. It's a totally different system.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. It's profound.
Wow. Yeah.
And again, I step out of the way.
Mm.
I'm not doing anything except for stepping out of the way. I let him, I will be healed as I let him teach me to heal. So
Mhm.
one of the things from the old world, I'll call it, is that I'm certified channel. So we recognize that the healing power doesn't come from us. It's like Reiki. It doesn't come from us. We're a channel. We channel the energy.
Yes.
So it's similar but different. I recognize that about a lot of the spiritual paths. It's like the religions, right? They all have that grain of truth in there. They're speaking about the same
Mhm.
thing using different language.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, when you were learning healing with the Tao Grandmaster, because I don't know anything, I don't even really know. When I picture a Tao Grandmaster, I picture like this Swami kind of guy, like with a towel on his head and like, you know, I, I, that's just my imagination. When you were learning healing that way, was it more, was the focus that the healing was coming from you personally? I'm just trying to understand the difference between the healer's prayer and then maybe.
So, yeah, as a healer, we tap into the power of the Tao. It's spiritual healing, so we tap into the power of heaven. There's many different layers and saints and Buddhas and like all sorts of things that we connect to. We connect to Mother Earth, the moon, the sun, countless planets, stars, galaxies, and universes. So we're just connecting to all of the energy that we can,
Oh,
recognizing that we're very careful only to connect to the light side. Because the
okay.
Tao, so Tao is very dualistic. It's the yin and yang, right? It's black and white. So in a lot of ways,
Taoism.
it's just in a lot of ways, it's the opposite. A Course in Miracles is non-dualistic.
Right.
Tao is dualistic. It's like as
Ah,
dualistic as you can get because the symbol, the yin yang symbol, is dualism.
mhm. Yes.
So it's really, really interesting, like the similarities and then the differences, because some of it, we're talking the same language, and then other
Right.
times it's just like completely the opposite. So we're connecting to all of this energy outside of us, but we
Mm-hmm.
also recognize that we have a lot of energy within us. So that's where the chakra system comes in.
Okay.
So we use the chakra system to heal us. We
Okay.
use the breath to heal us. There's 6
Mm.
power techniques that he teaches. And his name is Master Sha, if you want to look into it. He's very public and he's got a lot of teachings out there.
Master,
Sha,
you say.
S-H-A.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of power in it. I still talk about it. Like I don't teach from that system anymore, but
Mhm.
it's got a lot of power in it. It has just as much power as you give it because
Mm.
really all of the power is coming from you.
Yes.
And
Yes.
so if I put my power into him, then he'll heal me. If I believe that he can heal me, then he'll heal me. But really, it's all
Mm.
coming from me. And so, like A
Mhm.
Course in Miracles explains this perfectly because it's all coming from my mind, right? It's the mind that is so powerful. This Christ consciousness that we are, it's
Mhm.
so powerful.
Yes.
Yeah. So Master Sha teaches I have the power to heal myself. You have the power to heal yourself. And together we have the power to heal the world. So it's
Pretty
a
cool.
really cool, yeah, it's really awesome. And there's a huge community there. And that's like what really sucked me in was the sense of community, that togetherness of it. And it's actually what I'm missing most. It's the only thing I miss from that system is I had a community surrounding
Mhm.
me. And because
Mhm.
I walked away from the whole shebang.
Yeah. And from what I know of your story, before you went into that experience, you really didn't have community at all.
I was so
No family,
by
no,
myself. Yeah.
yeah, nothing.
Yeah. Yeah. I was in really, really rough shape when that found me. It's one of the like it's one of the things I'm just in shock and awe of. It's just like just how sick I was,
Yeah.
just how desperate I was.
Mhm.
That moment of surrender that I had to have as an atheist. I can't tell that story without either a big smile on my face or breaking into giggles because it's just hilarious. Yeah, like just a complete 180 from where I was to where I got to. Yeah.
And then you went from there to the Course in Miracles. So now you're doing a
Which
180 again.
yeah. Yeah. Well,
A
a
190.
90 degree angle. Yeah.
Course will do that.
Yeah. Yeah. And I kind of came into it kicking and screaming. It wasn't,
Mm.
I didn't really do it. I felt I didn't do it by choice.
You didn't
Yeah,
go into the Course by choice, or you
not
didn't go
really.
into surrender
I
by
didn't go
choice.
into the course by choice. I see it as I came in kicking and screaming. But what is meant for you will find you, and it'll happen when it needs to. You can't
Mm-hmm.
stop it. You can't rush it. You can't stop it.
Mm.
It happens when it needs to, as it needs to. When
Wow.
I first started with Kenneth, I was not a Course in Miracles student. I hadn't learned anything. Like Kenneth was really my first Course in Miracles teacher. And I wasn't buying it because
Yeah.
it was so different from what I had been trained with Master Sha.
Mhm.
And then I walked away from the Master Sha system and I was really waffling. I didn't know what the fuck. I didn't know what the fuck. And I was so, again, just so lost. And I had lost my foundation. I had lost my equilibrium. I feel like I had lost everything. I didn't know because I went from atheism to
Mhm.
being a spiritual channel
Mhm. Mhm.
and then realizing that that wasn't, I saw through the illusion. So then it was like, well, now what? What is real? What is God? What is heaven? Like what am I? Where am I? Where do I stand? Like I just had so many questions. And somebody said to me, I think you should read Disappearance of the Universe. And
Mm.
I did.
Very
And
redemptive.
holy shit, that book was exactly what I needed at exactly the right time.
Ah,
And then
I
I
can feel
read
it.
his other three books, Gary Renard, his other three books, read those too,
Yeah.
just bobbled them up. Bobbled them up.
I've only read the one. I haven't read the others.
They're all
Read
amazing.
them.
They're
Read them.
all amazing. Yeah, yeah, wow. I've listened to them on Audible.
Hmm.
I've listened to them each 4 times. There's so many gems in there. There's so much wisdom, and it's so just, yeah, like, because Gary takes you through his spiritual journey. Like, it's you're going on his wake up journey with him. Because when Arden and Persa first showed up, he wasn't a Course in Miracles student at all. So it was all very brand new to him. So as someone who had never had anything to do with the course before, I found that very valuable. And then I
Mm.
still didn't go into the course. I started watching YouTube videos.
Okay.
David Hoffmeister, Kenneth Wapnick, and Keith Kavanaugh. And it was
Oh,
Keith Kavanaugh who got me to pick up the book
mm-hmm.
on my birthday this year,
When was your birthday?
June.
Mm.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Keith Kavanaugh.
He's
He
amazing.
he was my 2 years ago I decided to forgive. And I didn't really know what real true forgiveness was. And I certainly didn't think that I could forgive my family of origin. And um, I pulled out my course book, and I'd had it since I was 14 years old. And it had
Mhm.
just sat on a dusty, yeah. I pulled it out. Anyways, one night I was scrolling on my phone on YouTube, and I didn't push any buttons. And Keith Kavanaugh, his video, How to Do the Forgiveness of the Course in Miracles, came on my phone, started playing. Jody, if my fucking TV started talking to me, it could not be a more surreal experience. This man was speaking to me through my phone, telling me exactly how to do the forgiveness of the. I was like, I almost had to look behind my phone and go, what the fuck are you really there? What is going on? It was, it was, yeah. He has been instrumental in showing me how to walk the path of forgiveness. And it's not, I wish there was a different word for forgiveness. I wish the course had like a different word, because to me, forgiveness, I equate it back to my upbringing growing up, real fundamental. And you did something wrong to me, so I'm going to give you this olive branch, and I'm going to be the bigger person. And I thought that that's what forgiveness was. And
Forgiveness
I
to
was like,
destroy.
yes,
That's how Master Sha teaches it. He teaches us to be spiritual egos. That's how
oh,
a
wow,
lot of traditions teach it. Yeah,
yes,
you've done me wrong. Let me rise above. Let me be the better person.
yes,
Let me forgive you. Yeah, that's
yeah,
forgiveness to destroy.
yes,
Yeah.
yeah. Forgiveness for me, what it means at this point is I had an experience where uh, the physical form that I was purposely directing my forgiveness towards was to my mother. And I saw her as myself. I mean, like, I, I experienced her as me. And I don't even know how else to verbalize it, but I experienced forgiveness, and it's not what I thought it was going to be. It's it's I don't have a word for it. I mean, I want to say it's better, but not. I mean, it's incredible, and everything has changed for me. Everything has changed. I mean, I forgave myself. We know. So, can I ask you what what made you walk away from the Tao Grandmaster? You were there. You said you had community. You felt,
There was a
can I
couple
ask?
of things that went down. Probably four things happened in a row. And I'm happy to share that with you outside of the recording
Gotcha.
because I
Okay.
don't think it would be appropriate to
Gotcha.
have it
100%.
on recording. But yeah, absolutely ask me again when we're not being recorded and I'm happy to share.
Absolutely. Okay.
But basically, what I will share publicly is that I saw through the illusion. I saw the oneness of everything. I saw through that dualism that he was teaching. Yeah,
Wow. That's a beautiful answer. I
it's
mean, that's
pretty,
really beautiful.
yeah, it was part of my wake up journey.
Mm,
It was just a chapter in me waking up, seeing through the illusion.
wow.
Yeah.
Love it.
So how was your Course in Miracles group today?
Oh, wow. I almost didn't go.
Hmm.
I, um, I had, uh, I'm in a, um, situation where, I've been I think a lot of people are experiencing this, especially after COVID. For me, it wasn't COVID that instigated it, but a lot of isolation. And it's, I have an actual physical reaction to actually being around people, like fear and anxiety. And it was, um, I had a great opportunity to mind watch while I was getting ready to go to this Course in Miracles group. And if you could crawl inside my head, it's like, what are you doing? You don't belong there. You're not, what? You're going to bring your dog? You're going to be the weirdo with the dog in the room. And look at your dog. Your dog looks like shit right now. I mean, we're in the middle of moving and where we live, she's had a flea problem, blah, blah, blah. And you look like shit. And I can't find a clean shirt to wear. And, ooh. And I'm just like, really? Really? I'm going to a Course in Miracles group. So, wow, this is really interesting. And then I get there and, everything happens for us. So we're doing lesson number 35, right? What's the first few sentences? Today's idea does not describe the way you see yourself now. My mind is part of God. I'm very holy. I have a dirty shirt. I have a flea bag dog. I'm driving in a car full of shit, excuse my mouth, but all my belongings are in my, I mean, I look like a homeless bum. I'm gluing my shoes. My shoes are falling off my feet. I can't, you know, my mind is part of God's. I'm very holy. Today's idea does not describe the way you see yourself now, really. It does, however, describe what vision will show you. And I'm like, yeah, I'm so in the right place. So it was, yeah. And I got a lot out of it. And the entire time that I was there, I felt uncomfortable, very uncomfortable, like the new kid in class. everybody else has been there and they all know each other. I've never been to a group. I've never, I mean, a lot of people have been to AA or NA or a support group or a counselor or something. I haven't done anything since 2002. I was in a car accident. I've been in my house. So everything is new. So I'm like Alice in Wonderland. I'm just like, wow, I'm looking at my mind going, you suck, and then I'm going to go to this class and go, your, your mind is part of God, you know? It was a really uncomfortable, beautiful experience. I'm really glad that I went. I'm, and I didn't go because I felt like going. I went because my inner guidance directed me to go there. And so I know about the kicking and I know that feeling of just being uncomfortable, just going, God, for me, I'm like, I literally had a moment where I felt like a little turtle and I just wanted to go back in my shell. I just want to go, what the fuck am I doing? Or what am I doing? I don't want to put myself out there. I don't want to. And I'm like, mm-mm, no, I'm not listening to that voice anymore. Well, trying not to. I'm just going to watch it. Yeah. Just go, okay, have your little tantrum, kick your feet. Are you done now? So it was really nice. Thanks for asking.
Cool.
No.
So they do a lesson? Is it like they focus on one of the lessons each time?
I don't. I'm not sure what they do each time. We had the lesson, and I thought it was really interesting because then he went into one of the chapters, and I mean, I literally can't even find an ink pen where I'm at. Like I couldn't take I did have a pen in my purse, and so I actually wrote in my course book today. First time. I've never written in my course, but I didn't have any paper or anything. So, but he talked about these levels of consciousness. He talked about super consciousness and then consciousness and then subconsciousness. And talks about the super consciousness being like the God mind and the consciousness, the level that we're operating at. That makes sense, where we're making our choices. And this was the most interesting to me. I have never heard it put this way. The subconscious, I always associated with um, dark, hidden, things we've repressed. And he talked about how the he didn't say the word baseline, but to me, baseline kind of felt right. The baseline of the subconscious is the desire to like impulses of love, like who we really are. So like I've always been scared of my subconscious, like scared of what's hidden, and he mentioned that, and for me that was a completely new idea. Like, oh wow, if I take the lid off, and he talked about allowing these the negative things that I associate with the subconscious that I push down and I don't want to look at. He talked about when we're releasing those, it helps free the way for that love that's there. So to me, that's a whole new concept. Like, oh, I don't really need to be afraid of my subconscious. Like, I don't need to. And then correct me if I'm wrong, but unwinding and having an expression session to me is kind of going into that subconscious and sort of clearing some of that out. Does that sound okay? So I was like, oh, I'm okay. Yeah.
Yeah, so in a way, I mean, we're not going in. Life is triggering us, right?
Mm-hmm.
So the way I see it with A Course in Miracles, I just was listening to the video I posted today in the group. It's Miracle Principle 18,
Yeah.
19, and 20, and it
Yes.
just was so profound.
I'm listening to that tonight.
It's so profound. Um, it, just lost my train of thought.
Okay.
Yeah.
Miracles 18, 19, and 20. Mir-
Mm.
what's it called?
Miracle principles.
Miracle principles. Yes.
Yeah. What were you
Yeah.
talking about just before I said that, though?
The superconscious, the
Oh,
subconscious.
yeah, right. We're not, so we're not like, there are practices where you go in and bring that up. And I used to teach those types of practices. We go in and we look for things to bring up.
Okay.
The way I see it with A Course in Miracles, and certainly with this group, I mean, you may be triggered when you're here, and that's, as Beloved said last night, that's a good thing. It's good to be triggered because it brings up this unconscious guilt.
Yes.
So they say subconscious mind, we say unconscious guilt. So in a way, it's the same. It's unconscious, it's subconscious, it's not known to us. We can't see it
Okay.
until
That makes
something
sense.
triggers it, right? And
Mm.
then we're shown, and this is why, we're supposed to be grateful to that motherfucker. I loved that
Right.
last night.
Well, I said yesterday I felt like kicking my dog. I mean, me, like, really? Oh my God, where did that come? I was like, oh my God,
Mhm.
what the hell? So thank you, Annie, for making me want to. Yeah. So, okay.
Yeah. And so the idea, and so that's good. That's such a good thing because it makes the unconscious conscious. And then what we do is we welcome it. And that's the
Mm,
forgiveness practice, us welcoming it, us looking at it with Holy Spirit, us being the non judgmental awareness.
mm,
That
okay.
is the forgiveness practice.
Yes.
What is it? Forgiveness looks upon something and does nothing.
Yeah.
It-
Quietly
it-
wait and does
yeah,
everything.
yeah. Yeah, so that's the practice, right? We allow it to come up
Hmm.
so that it can get out.
So I'm just going to be really practical and I'm just going to use myself because what an ugly impulse. I mean, my ego judges it. I'm like, I'm not I'm not the, I'd like to think I'm not the kind of, I would not kick my dog. Okay. Let's just put it that way. But I really was really frustrated and angry. So I'm experiencing that. And I'm like, and I mean, that's such a shocking impulse that you know, I immediately notice it. So then what? Then I welcome it. I mean, because I'm learning this. I don't welcome it.
Yeah, so what is it? What did he just say today? Something about like the right mind looks at the wrong mind without judgment. Like it's just that simple. We're just to look at it. And
Okay.
as soon as you're aware, oh shit, I want to kick my dog. It's you being in the right mind, looking
Hmm.
at the wrong mind. If you kick your dog, right, then you're just in the wrong mind and
Right. And
you
I would,
kick your
yeah,
dog. But
no.
when you're like, wow, I want to kick my dog.
Yeah.
So that's you being in the right mind. And then the way I would do that, the way I do that is as soon as I'm aware, oh shit, I want to kick my dog.
Uh-huh.
Holy Spirit, help me look at this. It's like,
Oh.
look at what has just come up.
Mm,
Now, Calico says, help me look at this differently. So in
okay.
a situation where you think your perception needs to change, then you could say,
Okay.
help me look at this differently. But for something like that, I
Hmm.
would like, that's just your unconscious guilt coming up.
Yeah.
Holy Spirit, help me look at this. Like, wow, isn't that fascinating? I want to kick my dog right now. Like,
Yeah.
wow. And so
Mm,
then recognizing that there's no cause in the world, right? It's not that your dog has
yes.
done something wrong and you want to actually kick it. It's that
Mm,
your mind has projected this whatever your dog did to make you want to kick it. Your mind has projected that out so that you can look at it.
okay.
And so like that's the blessing is that feeling I want to kick my dog.
Yeah.
So you just look at it. Wow, isn't
Mhm.
that amazing? I want to kick my dog. And in you welcoming that and looking at it, it
Mhm.
dissipates. It
And not
disappears.
judging it.
Yeah. And so that's you just taking a sliver off of your guilt. And the more you do that, the more your stuff comes up and you let it go.
Mm-hmm.
He was just talking today, like, this is the path to the real world. This is the path. You let it come up, you welcome it, you recognize that there's no cause in the world. You're not mad right now and wanting to kick your dog because your dog's done something wrong. You're mad and wanting to kick your dog because you've got this unconscious guilt. And it's being presented as I want to kick my dog.
I understand correctly. Do I need to identify what, I mean, if I understand correctly, I don't feel like I need to identify where that guilt's coming from. I mean, I'm assuming it's just all there. I mean, the experience of being separate in my imagination, I'm imagining that that's incredibly frustrating. And it's been going on since the beginning of this world. So it's got to, I mean, there's got to be like a lot there. You've been doing this for 13 something years. And you said you still, last night you were saying, and you did say specifically, help me see this, not necessarily differently. Holy
Just,
Spirit,
yeah,
help me.
look at it with me.
Yeah.
Look at
Okay.
it with me. Then I'm with Jesus in the cinema and I'm
Mhm.
looking at all of this junk that's coming up instead of being in it.
And I'm not ascribing it to what's physically going on in the world around me. I'm just realizing that this is all there. Okay. Okay. Wow.
Let me one of the things that I thought I've been thinking of, like, how do we structure this and
Oh, yes.
allowing Holy Spirit and Jay to guide me and stuff. And um I love how Keith does it, right? He pays attention to his group, what's going on in the group, and then he'll put something out there and then people will talk about it.
Yeah.
So um, what you're bringing up, what we're talking about, is inspiring me to read something that comes from his site.
Okay.
And it was a couple of days ago, but the meme is to try to lose the habit of sending love and light to people because it's born in error.
Yes. Yes.
And so he's answering somebody's question.
Hmm.
And so he says it's very important to keep in mind the golden rule of ACM, that you never, ever make the error real, set out to fix it. You never see a lack and try to fill it. That is holy ego, unhealed healer territory. The apparent happenings in the world are either love, only appearing as apparent expressions of love, or love, only apparently appearing as calls for love it already is. Both types of symbols are only appearances that mean nothing at all because both are still love despite appearances. I need do nothing. Everything is already wholeness, already unity, already light, despite the appearances that mean nothing at all.
Mm.
This is Christ's vision. This is healing. It is never healing lack. It is healing the perception of lack anywhere, despite appearances. The sole responsibility of the miracle worker is to accept the atonement for himself. It is only ever our own mind that needs healing, and we are never healed alone. So at
Beautiful.
forgiveness, I need do nothing except look at it and welcome it.
That's very helpful. Thank you. Yeah. Hmm. You know, I was really resistant to the doing nothing. And last night you said that because it's a no fix group, all you have to do is show up. And I went to bed last night and that was in my mind. And I thought, wow, what an incredible way if I lived my whole life from that place. All I need to do, I've heard the saying, your only job is to relax. And I'm like, ooh, I like that job. Sign me up. I'll do it for free. Yeah, I need to do nothing. That's just such an opposite of how I've lived my life. Wow. Mm.
I am so bothered by that statement. I
Why,
need
what's,
to do nothing.
huh?
That I need to do nothing is so it is so bothersome to me.
What is it? How does it, I
It
mean,
stirs up because so I fix things
yeah, yeah.
and I solve problems. I fix things. I am a healer. I tell people like when I clean homes and care for people. I'm a helper I'm a 2 on the Enneagram, which is the helper.
Mhm.
So, and you know, we live in this doing society. We're always doing, doing, doing. And I grew up with a hypercritical mother, so I was never enough and I never did enough. And so all of these things just feed into there's so much to do. Even just
Mm.
to prove my worth, there's so much to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so that I need do nothing
Yeah.
is so irritating to my ego. And so what a blessing that is, right? Because I get to
Mhm.
just watch, like, wow. And so last night I said quite a few times, you know, this isn't a fixing group and we're not here to solve problems and I'm not going to be a coach and like all of this stuff. And that just stirred, it all stirred so much. I spent a lot of today trying to figure out how I can turn this into a group where I help people with their problems.
I understand.
It's been pretty amazing. Like, how can I turn this around? How can I spin this?
Well, you've been taught as a healer. I mean, it's actually like your profession. So, wow. Hmm. Wow. So, you're helping me already by not helping me. I mean, by not fixing, you know what I mean? Yeah. Yeah. Because
So,
that thought was in my mind last night. I was like, what if I live my life? And I'm like, I think that is kind of what the course is telling me. Like, just forgive. And forgiveness does nothing. So it's just so foreign. I was describing you to a friend of mine. And of course, she's a healer. She studied with the Tao Grandmaster. I mean, just even the way we communicate with each other and share information is this person is this. I mean, you know what I mean? And I knew I was doing it as I was doing it. And that, yeah. So you are learning to look at the actual intention behind this group as being different than your other healing groups. I mean, the purpose, I'm assuming, is the same. I mean, the purpose is so that we are able to change and grow, I guess. I mean, but by doing nothing, it's just weird. Wow. Mm. Yeah, our whole society is doing, everything is doing. Wow.
And with that underlying message of lack, you're not doing enough. You're not
Oh.
doing enough.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yes. Wow. What a depressing outlook. That's really, I mean, fuck, no wonder, I was on all these pills. I mean, really? Wow. Oh, that was really good, Jody. Mm, mm. Yeah, do you know what? I thought it was funny. It's really not funny, but I sort of lived a mantra before getting involved or, getting into the course and starting to look inward. And I joke and I tell people, like my motto is too much is never enough. Is that ego or what? That's too much is never enough, isn't that? But it really is, and that's how I live my life. And my body reflected it, and my mind reflected it, and my life reflected it. It's just mm, wow. Mm, mm, wow. Okay. Sorry, I'm just like letting it. That's a lot to sit with. I mean, I need do nothing. Wow. That's very comforting. I'm sorry if I interrupt.
Keep going. I'm just looking for another. It is profound. And
It
it is
is.
one of those things that you have to really just sit with because it's like one of those upside down and backwards things. We've been taught the complete opposite.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
so even just to like allow that in, it's
Allow.
like, what do you mean I do nothing?
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
Forgiveness is looking at the ego without judgment, Kenneth Wapnick. This is non-judgmental awareness, present moment awareness. The decision maker joined with the Holy Spirit as a non-judgmental observer of the ego. So it's just looking. So it's interesting they say for it's doing nothing,
Mm-hmm.
as in, we're not acting to try and fix it, but we are doing something. We're looking at it and we're
Mm-hmm.
relaxing, we're welcoming.
Mm-hmm. Okay. You know what, Jody? And, you have to forgive me because I'm really new to everything. And I think that somewhere in me is a fear that if I really start welcoming the shit show, it's never going to stop.
Yeah.
So I think that's something that I don't know. It just sort of came to me like, because I do know that when I'm feeling heavy emotion, oh, I just want to shove it down. I mean, I almost literally, I picture myself like a cartoon character, like trying to stuff a balloon into like a little cardboard box, like, and it's like, it's such an automatic impulse. And I think behind that impulse to shove it down and not welcome it is, oh God, if I welcome it, it's never going to end. I'm just going to go insane and I'm going to be flailing on the sidewalk for 50 years. And people are going to be like, what the hell's wrong with that lady? Well, she's welcoming it and it's still coming. Okay. So, yeah, there's a fear there. Hmm. 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 I'll just look at the fear and not judge it. Hmm. Yeah. Because if I was less fearful about, I think the fear is losing control. There's fear, losing control. Control in quotes. What fucking control do I have? I do not have control. That used to be a really scary thought. And now I'm really actually kind of relieved. It's like, oh, wow. Oh, God, kind of getting a pass. I mean, not a pass in a real easy way, but it's like, mm, okay, yeah, I definitely have control issues. Wow. Oh, yeah. Okay. So how do you get to that point where you, well, okay, I'm just going to try to answer my own question. I'm assuming that in order to start welcoming the shit show, you just have to get to the point where you don't have a choice. You either welcome the shit show or you die. I don't know. I mean, I'm thinking maybe that's what it needs to happen for me. Like I have no choice. And then it's like, okay, I guess I'll be on the sidewalk for 50 years. I don't know. I'm kind of joking about that. But I mean, it kind of feels like it. Like, oh my God, if I start letting all this shit up, it doesn't really sound very Course in Miracles.
Well, what it is it's the resistance of the ego. Like this
Mm-hmm.
is just your resistance of the ego. We can't do this. What if this happens? Look, we can't do this. This is going to happen. Look, this might happen. This will happen.
You can't go to a Course in Miracles group.
Control.
You have a dirty shirt on and your dog has fleas. Mm.
Yeah. Because who is it that thinks it has control? It's the
Mm.
ego. It's the ego that is desperately trying to stay in control.
Jody, can you, if it's not outside the realm of this group, could you just speak a little bit about, because we talk about the ego, like my ego and my, now when I'm saying ego, I'm talking about a thought system. And as far as I'm aware, there's only one ego. There's one ego thought system. And we're all plugged in, I mean, to some degree, plugged into it. Is that kind of okay? So it's not like I have this ego on my shoulder going, you know, but it's a thought system. So,
It's the part of your mind that believes it's separate. And yes, it
okay,
is a thought system.
okay.
It's a thought system of separateness.
Mm,
And
which
that's a
doesn't,
really brand new um, definition for me.
mm, okay.
It was A Course in Miracles that helped me to understand that definition of ego. Before, um, it was similar, but it was like more the small self. Definitely
Okay.
like still not the true self, not the big self, the small
Mm-hmm,
self, the limited one.
mm-hmm.
But I was taught that it was something that you can heal, you can get rid of, you can transform.
Ah,
And so, but they were teaching us how to become spiritual egos.
egos. Okay.
And
Okay.
it's just like it's an even bigger form of ego, really.
Okay.
It's
Okay.
that it's more special. It
Ah,
becomes even more special and it like elevates itself.
wow.
And so and I'm just
Uh,
thinking of like people who talk about the master teachers in that old system that they have no ego. But no,
yeah.
really, they've got a big, huge ego thinking that they're the healed healers,
Okay.
but they're not.
That, mm,
It's just part of the facade.
okay. So it is a relatively new idea for you as well. It sounds like
Yeah, it's
that this
brand
is
new, really.
okay.
Hmm.
That's really, I mean, just that in itself. I didn't know that 3 weeks ago. Every day I'm waking up going, I mean, it's really, I'm really learning a lot. So thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
When the student is ready, the teacher will appear. And when the student is ready, the teacher will disappear.
Ooh, wow. I'm never going to be ready because I don't want you to disappear.
Teachers
Isn't
are
that
all
the,
around you.
isn't that what the ego doesn't want though? It doesn't want to disappear though. That's why
Mhm.
it's fighting so much.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah, it
Okay. I
doesn't want to
understand
lose
that.
itself. Yeah,
I get it.
it's fighting for its life.
Yeah.
It's a life and death battle that's going on in there.
Mm,
Yeah, and it really believes that it's your best interest at heart.
okay. Mm,
Yeah. And so,
okay.
yeah, it is fighting for its life like a cornered animal. It's vicious.
Yeah. Oh God. Yeah. Yes.
I remember the first time uh, Kenneth said that the ego is trying to kill us.
Yeah.
And it was before I was a Course in Miracles student, and I was always taught that the ego is trying to keep me safe. The ego wants to keep me small because it's trying to keep me safe. And that's
Mm,
kind of true. It's trying to keep itself safe. It's trying to
mm,
keep itself alive.
mm,
And so I didn't understand that the ego is trying to kill me concept until
mm.
I started looking at it and seeing it for what it was, and it went vicious. And I was like, oh, that's what he's talking about. Because before you really see it for what it is,
Mm.
it doesn't have to get vicious.
Um,
But as soon as you start seeing it for what it is, it realizes that this is now a life and death battle.
okay.
And I think like that's when it got vicious.
Okay. Mm. Survival. Hmm.
But it just kind of feeds in, it fed into that wake up process for me because the more vicious my ego got, the more clearly I could see it. And the more
Mm.
clearly I could see the shit show that it was creating.
Yes.
And with all of the projections and all of the blame, like a couple months ago, I really started seeing how I blame others. I project blame. It's your fault. I'm the
Yes.
innocent victim.
Yes.
I've been victimized. And it's just like one thing after another after
Uh-huh.
another. I'm the victim. And it just like,
Mhm.
wow, look at you. You're quite the piece of work there.
Yeah.
Yeah, like just like such a victim. Constantly blame, blame, blame. And so it really like it got so epic that it became very noticeable. It's very noticeable that I have
Mhm.
this crazy, insane voice talking to itself.
Mhm. I do
It's
too.
totally insane.
Mhm.
And
Mhm. Oh,
actually, I don't just have one, I have several.
mhm.
And this
Oh,
is
yeah.
where like my mental illness comes in, this
Mhm.
dissociative identity disorder, where I used to call them the roommates.
Mhm.
Just recently, I read a book called, I'm still reading it, No Bad Parts. And it's
Oh, I've
teaching me
heard of.
about all of the different parts that we have inside of us. All I call them the wounded ones and the
Yeah.
roommates. It's all
Yeah.
very like ego is legion. There's thousands of them. And so they're all just different fragmented parts of me.
Mm.
And I am the awareness behind all of it. I'm not any of that shit show mess. I'm above the battleground, eating popcorn with Jay.
Butter or no?
Butter.
Butter.
Extra butter.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
And I mean, my questions are going to be on a real basic level, but when I was able to forgive my mother, what I saw was my mother was me. So when you're talking about the roommates and the ego is legion, when you were saying that, I was like, there's my mother, my father, my aunt, my uncle, my all of that is ego. Those are projections. Okay. Okay. I'm real new to that idea that there's not an actual person. Does that make I mean,
Hmm.
okay.
Yeah, so
Okay.
the Miracle Principles video that I posted talks about all of this.
Okay.
Just
Okay.
that, like, so my ego mind, because so when I identify as an ego mind,
Mhm.
in order to, the world is the smoke screen that I've created so that I don't have to look at all of my junk. So I create you and I make you do something that's going to
Mhm.
upset me to make me feel like a victim so I can blame you, Marcy, the evil one,
Okay.
making me a victim
Okay.
again. But there is
Okay.
no Marcy
Okay.
because
Mhm.
Marcy is just my projection.
Mhm. Mhm.
So there are no
Okay.
bodies. There are no other bodies out there. My body isn't even here. There are no bodies.
Okay.
It's all just
I'm
coming
just
from,
getting that.
yeah, it's all just coming from my mind.
Mm. Oh my God. Wow.
It's totally crazy.
It
Yeah.
is totally crazy.
It's just a
That's a
totally bizarre concept. It makes so much sense to me. It resonates as truth so strongly. It
mhm.
helps, like when I first, it reminds me of when I first learned about reincarnation through Master Sha
Mhm.
and karma. It helped to make everything make sense. It helped
Mm.
me to connect
Mhm.
all of the dots in my world and
Mhm.
made everything make sense.
Mhm.
And this new Course in Miracles
Mhm.
lens, this I am the Christ mind, I am love, and there's
Mhm.
only one of me. We are all that one Son of God, but
Mhm.
I'm dreaming the separateness, and it's
Mm.
all just projecting from me.
Mhm. Mhm.
And so everything that's outside of me that's so wrong is really just my unconscious guilt that I don't want to look at. I don't want to own it, so I push it out onto you. I create you, push all
Mhm.
this junk out onto you.
Mhm.
Yeah. And then I can blame you. It's not
Mhm.
me. I'm
Mhm.
the innocent victim. It's all your fault.
I do that. I do it. I really do. And something you said that makes a lot of sense to me is the more you turn inward and the more the ego thought system feels a threat to its existence, it gets more vicious. And since I moved out of my living situation about 3 weeks ago, I have just like, it's almost like a swarm of bats has just like attacked me. I feel like, you know what I mean? And I'm like, I'm Batman. Fuck you, motherfuckers. You're not bugging me. But I mean, it sounds funny, but it feels like I'm just being swarmed. And the thing of it is it makes it just so much more obvious. Like this morning when I was getting ready, I'm like, oh, motherfucker, I know you don't want me going to this meeting. My guidance told me to go. So, and now I didn't listen to my guidance before. So that would have worked. It really would have worked, Jody. It really, really would have worked.
Mhm.
I have two people that I've known since I was 14, the people that gave me my Course in Miracles book. And I just emailed them. They're in Colorado. And they suggested that when I moved to locate a Course in Miracles study group. And it took that for me to go, I trust these people and I trust their advice and I know that they have my best interest. And so I went inward and my guidance confirmed it. Yes. And they suggested a different study group and my guidance told me, no, this, at any rate, I knew that's where I was meant to be. And so I could listen to all these thoughts and it kind of made it funny in a way, but it almost worked. I almost didn't go. I really almost didn't. And then I'm like, no. So I really see what you're saying, how it gets a lot more intense. Hmm. Because you said it's fighting for its survival. Wow. When this, when we're done with this Zoom call, I'm going to go listen to that in Miracle Forgiveness 18, 19, and 20. I saw you posted that. Thank you so much.
It was so profound. It was like our whole conversation last night is in that video. It was just so profound, Marcy. I was just like, holy crap, that's the synchronicities. Like you can't make this shit up. You just can't make this shit up.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it was so like it was like Keith Kavanaugh was listening to our video last night and then
Yes.
went and made this video, but this video was made months and months and months ago.
Yeah.
It's just crazy.
It's like my other video from him. He's really there.
Yeah.
I swear it's so funny now, but I cannot, I mean, literally, if you turned your phone on one night, you're in bed and you can't sleep, and you go to YouTube and it said, "Hey, hi Jody, how's it going?" Oh, look. And you're like, "What the fuck? Who are you? Where?" That is exactly it was. Yeah, and like you said, it was recorded months and months. I mean, it's just wow. It's really cool.
It is super cool. Yeah, it really
Yeah.
is. Yeah, it's super cool. So I love how like the Holy Spirit just flips our ego script around and
Hmm.
uses it as our wake up script.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, so the more the ego fights, the more apparent, the more obvious its fight gets to us. And so it's digging its own grave.
Yeah. Yes. I guess I'm gonna I think I feel really good that I'm actually able to see this now because, I need to remember that a couple weeks ago I wasn't even seeing this. I wasn't seeing a couple weeks ago I would have gone, "Oh, you're right. I look like shit. My dog looks like shit. I don't have any clean clothes. I'm gluing my shoes together. I don't know where this place is. I'm blah blah blah." And now it's just so ridiculous the contrast because I know what peace feels like. I know what that feels like. And once you know what that feels like, it's like there's just no going back. I can't go back. I don't mean, not that I'd want to, but it's, our words in the book and these groups. But once you have that moment where everything just drops away, everything, the disappearance of the universe. I mean, to me, that'd be the weirdest title to a book. And now I look and go, yeah, oh yeah, it can happen. Oh yeah. You know, once you get that felt, I didn't know what the felt state was or, what they talk about, the feeling, the experience, I'm like, okay, whatever, I don't know. I thought I had to meditate for 20 years or something. But, we all have our own curriculum. And I was really fortunate that I was actually given that experience very early on, like completely by grace, absolutely by grace. I was given the contrast. And it's like, this is reality. I know what reality is. So I get confused a lot, but I can always just go back and dip my toe right into that experience and go, oh no, that's, and it makes everything, I mean, it, it helps me because the course is very backwards and very upside down and very, I mean, it's weird. I mean, I get it. I know why people, it's like, I don't honestly, like, I don't go around telling people, oh, I'm a course. I mean, whatever. I don't. It's, But once you have the experience of it, and you, once you have the felt state of what's real, what's not real can't compete with it anymore. There's just no competition. There's no comparison. Just not. Do you make plans anymore? I mean, you plan these Zoom calls, I know.
Yeah, my ego is trying always planning things. So I'm a business operator, so I have a schedule. I'm always, having to move things around, and I have a lot of plans. I'm always trying to plan, and also, um, yeah, I've been in that shift for a while, years of trying to be less of a human doer and more of a
Mm-hmm.
human being,
Mm-hmm.
and allowing myself to be guided. That was a very big part of the Master Sha system, was allowing yourself to be guided.
Mm-hmm.
We're taught how to open our spiritual channels so that we can receive guidance, and incentivized to do this for ourselves so that we don't have to contact a teacher all of the time to channel for us. So this whole being open to guidance and asking for help, and putting myself, getting out of the way, um, allowing spirit to move through me. This all came to me before A Course in Miracles. So A Course in Miracles is just enhanced that journey of, David Hoffmeister calls it being under Christ control,
Mm-hmm.
clueless, carefree, and cared for. And so
Mm-hmm.
I love the idea of that. I love the idea of just getting out of the way. Like, and that's why I love that other prayer that I brought in yesterday. Um, I let go of trying to fix and control my life. You be in charge.
Yes.
Yeah, like I let go of that. I surrender.
Oh.
You be in charge. Um, one of the things in the very beginning with between Kenneth and I wasn't a certified coach, but I was on my way. I was in school to become a coach and was already a healer. So just kind of edging my way out of being a spiritual healer and being more of a coach.
Mm-hmm.
And so my big thing was teaching people how to get in the driver's seat, because that
Okay.
was, for me, the beginning of my recovery journey was learning how to get in the driver's seat, how to control my own life and start making my own decisions.
Mm-hmm.
And
Mm-hmm.
so Kenneth had this opposite thing. He wanted us to get out of the driver's seat. The spirit is supposed to be in the driver's seat. And so it was
Okay.
just another one of those, like, we didn't see eye to eye. He was like, I would be like, get in the driver's seat. And he's like, get out of the driver's seat. And I remember this one meeting in particular. We used to have a lady came called maid named Tina. And at one point she said, I don't care what seat you're in, just get in the fucking car. It was just so awesome.
Just get in the
Like, fuck the
goddamn
seat,
car.
just get in the fucking car. It was
Oh
just
my
beautiful.
God.
Yeah, it was so funny.
I love it.
But I
I
feel
think
like
that's
I
where
totally get that now. Like, get out of the driver's seat, get out of the way. Allow yourself to be guided.
So the thought that comes into my mind when you say that is yes, yes, yes. That's what I want. That's what I want to learn to do with my life. And I have this little thing of notes that I keep on my phone. And I started it a couple years ago, and it says, I want my life to turn into a prayer. I don't know where that came from, but anyway. So that's, but for me, is there there's a development of trust though, because I can't just, I don't feel like I can get out of the driver's seat unless I know, do you have your learner's permit? Or, I'm asking God, right? Or spirit. I mean, right? Like, have you been around the block? I mean, because, like I took a class on this. So but so what I'm trying to say is like, there's a period of time where these little things happen, like finding, for Kenneth, finding the hair bands, or, where we develop our trust. Can you speak to that a little bit?
There's a
To,
whole section of it in the Course of Miracles, the development of trust. David
okay,
Hoffmeister did a video on it. That was what really got me understanding that there is a process called development of trust. There's
okay.
6 stages. 4 of them are dark.
Oh,
Yeah. So it's
four,
hard. 4 of them are
four
dark.
out of
This is
six.
this is what David Hoffmeister says. There's 6 stages, 4 of them are dark. So it's really a big journey for this
Yeah.
ego of ours to let go of its control and
Okay.
allow it to trust.
Hmm.
Yeah. I
Okay.
can't remember where in the book it is, but there's
I'll
a
look it
whole
up.
section, yeah, the development of
Okay.
trust. And even like I'll ask if I can get that link. I'll ask Dave if
Okay.
he'll just send me the link
Okay.
to the video that David Hoffmeister did that was really clarifying for me.
I
This like
love, I
development
love
of trust.
videos. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, because I feel like that's where I'm at. Like I have resistance, and it really is because I don't feel that closeness. I don't feel, did you lose your light? Where's your light?
Did
I
I
don't
lose my
feel
light?
that. Oh, just went dark in there. Um, I just, it's like I want to give things over, but I don't have that. It sounds so ridiculous when I hear myself say it. God, can I have your credentials? I mean, really? I don't know. Okay. I'm going to look that up. Yeah. I need to work through that. There's 6 stages. Hmm. And 4 of them are dark.
4 of them were dark, yeah.
They're supposed to say, you're going to be so happy and your life's going to be so great. And yeah. Like everything's going to go to shit. Yeah. You know what, though? If your life is so shitty that when it gets shittier, it doesn't bother you, then you're ready. Because you know what? You just get to a level where you're just like, really? Really? Mm. It is kind of funny. I'm sorry. It is. It is dark and ugly, and it's just funny.
It's totally absurd. That's when I find it
Yeah,
joyful. Like when I can
that's
just finally
hard.
see the absurdity of it. Like, wow, it's so fucking insane. It's so fucking absurd.
Like that little kid kicking, it's like, wow. Oh man, cool. I'm gonna look that up. And you said, okay, so David Hoffmeiser, one of his videos is the development of trust. So
Yeah,
I
I'll look
can,
it up for you. Because I save I have a list on my YouTube channel that I just
oh,
started.
okay. I just
I wonder
subscribed
if
to
I
you.
can make it public or not. It's called Game Changers. So when
Ooh,
I'm like really needing something to pull me out of my stuff, I have like I think I've got like 7 or 8 videos on there now that are just like so profound.
Jody. excellent idea.
Yeah. They're just
That
like,
might sound
yep.
simple to you, but that's a wonderful idea for anybody listening or anybody. I mean, that is just incredible. You
Hmm.
get your meaty, probably that court, the Keith Kavanaugh video, 18 Miracle Principles, 18, 19, and 20. That could be one.
That was
It
the
sounds
last one I just put
pretty.
on there. Yeah.
Mhm.
It started with how can you who are so holy suffer? Keith Kavanaugh did a video.
Yeah.
How can you who are so holy suffer, or something like that? And that was the first one. Like, it was so profound. I was like, this is what I need to see when I get stuck and I can't see a way out. This will pull me out.
Yes.
And so that's where it started.
Wow. Thank you.
Yeah.
That's
Um,
it's such a good idea. I'm so little things that I hear people in the group say, videos people mention, books people mention. Everything is so incredibly um, helpful. And I think that our guidance sparks our ears when you know what I mean? You hear that one thing that's really gonna, yeah, okay, awesome. You,
you're welcome. Thank you.
hey, do you want to see my dog?
Yeah.
Okay, there
Oh,
she is, sweet.
hey, Ben. So cute.
And
Oh, how old is she?
we think she's about 10.
Oh,
Yeah, she's a rescue. I just get the older dogs because, well, they're mellow and they're cool and they're laid back and they're just, my little frosty face. So yeah,
cool.
yeah. And actually, I wouldn't kick my dog. I mean,
Yeah.
we just need to clarify that, okay? But I had the impulse, and I'm like, wow. And I'm really glad that I mentioned it because normally I'd feel really ashamed and guilty about that, but I really didn't because I know I'm not going to hurt an animal. I mean, I know I'm not going to. So I felt okay with it. And I was like, oh, wow, that's really interesting. So I just showed you this cute little fluffy, and it's like, really? Hmm. Hmm. Cool,
I
Jody.
remember a couple of months ago when I first really started seeing the insanity of my ego. For me, like you just said, you woke up when you wanted to kick your dog because you know that's like
Uh-huh.
not something you would do.
Hmm.
I realized one day that I want to hurt other people. And I was like, whoa.
Oh,
It was
yeah.
such a profound, I've always been very self-destructive. I
Mhm.
practiced a lot of self-harm when I had my mental illness going on. I've just always like I've internalized everything. I blame myself for everything. And so when that day that I had the desire to hurt somebody else, I went, oh, holy shit, that's never happened before. I've
Mhm.
always taken everything that happens
Out.
and wanted to hurt myself.
Mhm. Mhm.
So it was just like something smacked me upside the head, and I was like, whoa, you're vicious. Wow, I never noticed before just how vicious you are. And that was
Wow.
when I really started like seeing my ego outside of myself. Like that was when I really first started sensing my split mind.
Mm.
And I think I
Mhm.
even mentioned it on Kenneth's Zoom call, like, guys, like I want to hurt people. It's scaring the
Mhm.
crap out of me.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Jody, when I was little, I have a memory, and I didn't remember this when I was taking my pharmaceuticals because I think I was just so drugged. I didn't really have memories. But I have a specific memory, and I don't know how old I was. I actually felt such glee and delight when I realized that I could hurt myself because I absolutely did not want to hurt other people. And I'm like, ooh, I can hurt myself. And it was like this evil, maniacal, like, I mean, literally, like, oh my God, I was a little kid. I was an innocent little girl. And I was like, holy shit. But in my mind, if I hurt myself, I'm not hurting other people. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, okay, I can relieve myself of this impulse and I'm not. And now I just look at that and go, oh my God, wow. Yeah. Wow. Mm. God, thank you, Jody. You're really helping me to separate and observe. Yeah. Thank you. Oh man. This is really good. Oh, did you decide that are we going to do the body grounding next time
Oh yeah, we
or
didn't do
did you?
that.
Yeah, you just probably I got us off track. I don't really
Yeah, it's
know.
totally your fault. 100%.
Cool, I can go hurt myself. Yeah. God.
Did you look up the heart math? Did you look up the heart math thing?
Not yet.
I did.
No.
There's a short practice that you can do, 2 minutes to bring you. It's supposed to be quite grounding.
Okay.
I haven't listened to it yet, but I can take you through a short practice right now just to bring you into your body and ground you into your.
Okay. Okay.
So a lot of it is breath, like we use the breath to ground us into the body because it's the quickest way to bring us into the present moment and into our body because it's happening right now. It's always, breath is always happening right now. So it's one of the
Okay.
quickest ways that we can bring ourselves into the present moment because it's happening now and it's happening in our body. We're bringing air into our body. So it's also one of the quickest ways to bring your attention into your
Mm.
body. So right here, right now, you're always breathing. So just by
Never.
focusing on the breath, as soon as you just become aware that you're breathing, you're being present in this moment and you're in your body.
Mm.
And so that's just the very surface level. And the more you pay attention, so you can just do that while you're having this conversation, just be aware. I'm breathing.
Mm.
That breathing is happening right now and it's happening in my body.
Mm. And it's happening in my body.
And it's happening in my body. It's in my lungs. It starts either in your nose, whether you're nose breathing or mouth breathing, it starts in your face, goes down into your throat and into your lungs. And you can actually train it to go all the way down into your abdomen. And so there's
Mm.
all of these different layers that we can bring in. And you mentioned at one time that you did a practice where they taught you how to see the roots coming from your body into Mother Earth,
Yes.
right? The roots coming from your feet. So that can be definitely be part of the practice. And that
Okay.
helps us to ground our energy into the
Mm.
earth. So we're grounded into the earth. And so you can
And
just feel that right now. You're
I
sitting on
can.
the couch.
Mm-hmm.
Whether if your feet are flat on the floor, that's they say the best way, but your
Mm-hmm.
bum is touching the couch and the couch is
Mm-hmm.
touching the floor. So even if you're
Mm-hmm.
sitting cross-legged, you're still grounded to Mother Earth because your body is touching something that's touching
Mm-hmm.
the earth.
Okay.
And you can watch those roots grow right out of your bum if you want to. They don't have to grow out of your feet.
So, just really briefly, why do we want to get grounded when we're doing a spiritual practice? What does that do?
Mind lies and makes up stories. It
Mm.
doesn't live here or now. It's always in the past or in the future.
Okay. Yeah.
The body is always here and now. It's never in the
Mm,
past, it's never in the future.
okay.
So when we ground ourselves into our body,
Mm-hmm.
we're grounding ourselves into this present moment. We're grounding ourselves into the truth of what is.
Okay.
What we're thinking in our
Mm-hmm.
mind.
Mm-hmm.
So this is like there's a bit of duality here that we kind of have to bring in.
Yeah. Okay.
When I'm not connected to my body, one of the teachers that I studied with taught me the power of feminine presence.
Mm-hmm.
And so she talked about it as like we're either in our head bubble, which is when
Mm-hmm.
we're up here and we're thinking, and it's like a flighty, sort of anxious, scattered
Mm-hmm.
feeling.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And then so she teaches you how to bring all of your energy down into we ground it into the lower abdomen. That's a very Eastern philosophy. Beloved was
Mm-hmm.
talking about that last night. We ground it
Yes.
into the lower dantian. Well, as
Mm-hmm.
I mentioned, the heart is the middle dantian. So it's another energy center. We have 7 energy centers in our body that are the major ones.
Okay.
So when we ground ourselves into our body,
Mm-hmm.
we're not thinking, we don't have all of that chaos up in our
Okay.
head. We're not attached to the chaos in our head. We're bringing our attention into the body and we're attaching
Mm.
that.
Okay.
So there's all of these different reasons why we want to be grounded in our body, and especially for spiritual practices, because a
Mm-hmm.
lot of it is very like, if you think of the chakra system,
Mm-hmm.
there's the fourth chakra is the heart. So there's 3 below that. That's the foundation. And then there's
Mm-hmm.
3 above that. And when we start working with a lot of spiritual practices, are bringing you up into like the ether. We work with heaven and we're talking with the saints and all of that. So if you
Mm-hmm.
like a skyscraper, when we build up, we have to
Mm-hmm.
build down first. We got to dig into the earth. We got to build
Oh.
a foundation.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Like the roots of the tree, they've got to go down to support the branches. So us grounding into our body gives us that strength to be able to grow spiritually. And if you don't have that strength in your foundation, have
Mm-hmm.
that strength being grounded into your body and into the earth, then you can go totally, like, people go completely crazy in their spiritual world. They're not grounded in this, like, real reality. Just
Okay.
had an experience with a friend. I asked for help. She's got a very spiritual ego. And it was very apparent to me. Like I asked her for help. I just needed some real practical help. But she went
Mm-hmm.
all spiritual on me. She went very very
Okay.
esoteric and very like it's not practical. She wasn't being grounded in her body. She was giving a bunch of it just
Okay.
yeah, it doesn't apply. Like it's not
Mm-hmm.
so it's important to keep yourself grounded here on this plane
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
as we do all of these spiritual practices. So several reasons to be grounded in your body.
Thank you. I've never had it explained to me. I felt like it was important. And like you said, Beloved was talking about it last night about taking her Tai Chi from her heart center and doing it from there. So thank you. I've
Mhm.
never had anything like that explained to me. So I do feel like that's very important because I can get really, ooh, wow, yeah,
Yeah.
things can really happen there. I want to stay
Mhm.
grounded. Cool.
So like as a leader, a group leader, where I was taught one of the reasons I stay grounded is I'm calmer. My voice, you can follow me. If like
Mm-hmm.
she teaches like we can go up into head bubble and it's like, hi, my name's Jody and this is what I want you to do and I'm over here and I'm over there and my voice is and it's unflighty and it's really hard to pay attention and la 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 la. And a lot of
Mm-hmm.
people do their presentations from there. And it's really hard to follow them because it's
Yeah.
just like really scattered. And so she
Mhm.
teaches like how to ground yourself into, I mean, you just want to get in your body. And quite often we get in through that upper center, but then you bring your energy further down into your heart center, and then you can bring your energy further down into your lower abdomen. And then you
Mhm.
bring your energy even further down and really ground into your lower abdomen, your legs, and
Mhm.
feel the roots going all the way to the heart of Mother Earth. And as you do this, and I did a couple of retreats with this lady, and this is where the witness meditation came in. You can actually watch somebody's physical appearance change
Wow.
as they go from being up in their head to down in their heart to down in their abdomen, because we're energetic beings. So you can
Mhm.
feel where my energy is. It's totally fascinating.
You just exactly described one of the things that I love about you. You are that grounded person. I can hear it in your voice and I can feel it in your words. And yes, it's very effective. It's very helpful. Yes. Thank you. I never had it explained to me. And when you're studying the course, the emphasis is not on the body. So for me, that's a little confusing. So thank you. Yeah.
That's why when Beloved said, you know, because I'm very brand new at the Course in Miracles, like very
Mhm.
brand new, and it's my understanding that we don't want to identify with the body. So when Beloved talked last night about how much she values grounding into her heart, I was like, okay, but wait a second, how does that, like, I kind
Yeah.
of thought it would be counterintuitive or
Mm-hmm.
counterproductive. But I
Mm-hmm.
like the way she explained it, and it brings in like what I just explained from Rachel Jane, and the it was from the Awakened School, the lady who I have the coaching certification from.
Mm-hmm.
Be grounded into your heart, because you're either in your head or your heart. And A
Mm.
Course in Miracles says, look, we don't want to be in our heads.
Yes.
So we don't want to be in our body, but we don't want to be in our head. So
Mm-hmm.
I totally see that, the value of being
Okay.
grounded into our heart
Mhm.
space, as
Wow.
opposed to being all up in our head space.
Mm. That is incredibly helpful for me right now. Thank you
Mm.
so
And so
much.
the simple, I just gave you a lot of information. I'll bring it back into just the simple thing for you, Marcy. Breath, and think of your heart. Just put your, where you put your attention is where your energy goes. So you're breathing, and just
Mhm.
think of your heart. And if you want to touch it, you can tap. This helps to
Mhm.
bring your mind there, right?
Mhm.
Because your mind is going to wander. So just
Mhm.
when you bring your attention to your heart and your breathing, all of your
Mhm.
energy is going into your heart, and that's going to open it.
That's going to open it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you're putting all of your attention where your attention goes, your energy goes. And so all of your
Oh.
energy is being flooded into your heart. Just when you
That's how
think
you
about
open
it,
your heart.
that's one of the ways you open it.
Because mine's closed. Like I can energetically feel it's a big, yeah, it's all, yeah. Okay. Oh God, thank you. It's like really cool. Sometimes there's a disconnect between the body and the Course in Miracles, and how do I don't know. So by putting my attention on my breath and directing my breath to my heart, it'll just, if I keep working on it, it'll just naturally start because that's where my focus is.
Yeah. And then there's all sorts of layers that you can bring into that. Just like, oh, there's six power techniques that we were taught through the Master Sha system. Putting your attention there is just the
I like
simplest
simple.
thing. Yeah. So that's where you
I mean,
start.
for now, I'm just
Super
a
simple.
baby.
Yeah,
Speaking of that, I think it's past my bedtime. So
I agree. Got to get that
thank you.
beauty sleep.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Marcy. I'm so
I'm
grateful
really
for you.
excited to watch these videos and to work on I had I didn't realize I had such a big question and confusion around getting grounded and connecting to spirit. I knew there was I mean, you know what I mean? I didn't feel like I should just throw out the baby with the bathwater. So thank you. Wow. I'm just excited to like breathe tonight and watch these videos and thank you. Thank you. Appreciate it. Cool.
Okay.
Okay.
Have a good
We're
night.
back.
Have a good
Yeah.
sleep.
We're back tomorrow. You're brave.
Yeah.
You're brave.
I'm determined to see this differently. That was one
Mhm.
of my lessons. I'm not up to lesson 50 yet.
Okay.
And one of them was like lesson 39. I am determined to see things differently.
Differently. You and I
Determined.
both.
Yeah.
I am
And I'm
too.
a fucking powerhouse. I'm a bulldozer. I'll just push, push, push.
I like it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much. I
So I'm
need all
just
those
gonna keep
pushes.
showing up. I'm
Good.
gonna
I
keep
need the
showing up.
pushes. You know, it might be uncomfortable, but you gotta, you know, yeah. Thank you, Jody.
Thank you, Marcy. I love you.
Have a good night. I
You
love you
too.
too. Mhm.